Hey, what's going on there, youth workers? Paul Turner here from the discipleproject.net. So glad to be with you today. Thanks for clicking on that play button. And if you like, I would love if you click that subscribe button. You'll get videos like this in your inbox on a regular basis. And don't forget to click that bell icon, and that way you'll know when I go live and you can jump into a discussion that we might be having. So today I want to talk to you about the 3 things that a student needs in order to share their testimony. The first thing they need is they need something to testify about, right? If they've had an encounter with Jesus, if they've come to know the Lord, if they've experienced God at camp, if they've gone to the altar and found forgiveness, well, guess what? They have something to testify about. It's hard to testify about something you've never experienced, right? The second thing they need is boldness. They need the encouragement and the confidence to stand up and share that story. And then the third thing they need is they need a safe place to practice, and that is your youth ministry. And I just think that students sharing testimony, and I know it seems like old school, or you remember testimony nights, maybe in your church, but I think it is a powerful step in the discipleship process that when a student can get up and articulate what Jesus has done for them, it only builds on their faith. And because I believe in that, I have written a new series, and it is called Time to Tell. And it really is. It is a moment in time in our culture where young people need to go ahead and share their story. They need to share what Jesus has done for them. And whether that's an encounter they had with him in forgiveness, or they had an encounter with him at camp, or they had an encounter with him, in their home praying, whatever it is, they need the opportunity to share, because testifying is an important step. Sharing the gospel through life change is an important part of the discipleship process. And if a student can do this, and I do this with students at the schools that I go to for First Priority, my goal is that every student share. They share a testimony, they share devotion. I tell them, if you can do this in the classroom here, you can do it in the boardroom. It is a leadership building skill that if you can stand up and articulate and communicate to your peers, guess what? You have opened a bunch of doors in your life that are going to help you in the future. But I also think more so is that it is an important step in spiritual growth, because then you're able to share. If you can share it once, you can share it twice. If you can share it twice, you can share it 100 times. Then every time you encounter somebody that needs hope, or somebody that needs an encouraging word, or they need to know that God's alive, guess what? If you've shared it once, you can share it again. And that's why I wrote this series called Time to Tell. Now, some of the things that I've put in there for you, it's a 4-week series, and it encourages students over those 4 weeks to, first of all, have the knowledge of why testimony is important. And we look in the series, and I look at Peter and John, and I look at the woman at the well, and we look at the blind man. And then the 4th night is called Time to Tell night, where it is an opportunity for any student that wants to share their testimony, they can share it. So let me just show you a few things that are in the material here. First of all, you're going to get a time to tell testimony worksheet. This is something you can give to them in the first week and say, hey, here's something you can start working on. And this is where you encourage them and you say, hey, I believe in you. I really think it's time for you to share. I think it's time for you to get up and say what the Lord's done for you. And it doesn't have to be anything huge, right? It doesn't have to be like, hey, listen, God delivered me from drugs. Well, God hasn't delivered everybody from drugs. Maybe God's just saved you. Maybe God has given you peace in your life through knowing Jesus. Whatever that may be, just encourage them and say, listen, work through this. Work through this. It is part and parcel of even the salvation experience to know what it means to be saved, what it means. They work through that process of, hey, did I come to know the Lord, or did I just go to an altar and cry a little bit? This really gets them thinking about, what has Jesus done in my life? And the second thing that I give you is the Time to Tell schedule. I give you an outline of how to create that night, how to build up momentum to that night, because it can be a powerful, powerful night. If 10 students and 7 of them share, that's a powerful night. I would say even if one of them share, you're making progress, because if you have a group where none of them shared before, guess what? And if one shares, that could lead to a whole nother thing. But I give you the outline for that. The third thing that I give you, a little worksheet where your students can help you do the meeting, right? And this is something new that I'm starting to put in curriculum. And if you have purchased curriculum from me before, this is going to be in, it's going to be in the files there. So you can go ahead and you can download this for whatever it is, because guess what? Doing youth ministry can be hard all by yourself. This is an opportunity. We always talk about ownership, right? We talk about, well, we want students to own the ministry more. Well, the only way they own the youth ministry more is by giving them something to own. You have to give them a role and responsibility. And so we have this youth meeting sheet to be able to help and assist with that. Now, in addition to that, I've already made up your images here. I've given you some Instagram graphics there that you can go ahead and promote with. I'm also giving you TikTok graphics, and you can not only use them for TikTok, but you can use them for Instagram stories. You can use them for all those things. And then I'm also going to give you the slides for all the messages. Those are going to be there as part of that as well. So I hope that this interests you. I hope that you are saying, you know what, Paul, this is something my youth group needs. This is something my youth group needs to discover. There are students in my youth ministry who have never shared their faith, have never shared their testimony. And it's because I've never given them opportunity to do. And that's really what they need. They just need an opportunity to say, and you go to them and say, hey, I'd really like you to share your testimony this week. Would you share what the Lord's done in your life? And they don't think it's a big deal, but you tell them, say, look, this is going to inspire your friends. This is going to help your friends in the youth ministry, because if they see you do it, guess what? They know in their heart they can do it too. And so that's it, guys, for today. I hope that this has been encouraging to you. I hope that you will check out the Time to Tell 4-week series, especially right here at the beginning of school. What a great way to start. I'll put a link down in the show notes there, and you can go ahead and get this for yourself. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you for joining me. Thanks for hanging out. Be sure to click that thumbs up button. Let me know you enjoyed the video, you liked the video. And if you want to know more about some of the curriculum that I have, well, I'm going to put a little thing right over here. You can check out more curriculum right there. But that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.